First of all, if somebody would call you on the phone, if you have a Pixel, I would go screen call.
Right.
Just hit button, screen call.
I would just say Google, screen the call.
You don't have to answer. And first of all, if your number is not on my phone, even if it is on my phone, I'm not going to answer. I'm just going to screen the call to see what you want. In fact, if you're somebody that I know, you probably send me a text.
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Charlie.
And this is Outsmarting the Shadows, where we help you survive horror movies.
Yes, we do.
And this is Milo.
Yes, and he's enthralled with his new toy.
He may join us Oh. You gonna take
Got it?
Okay.
Milo,
Go.
come on.
Come on. You gotta be in the podcast, buddy.
Okay. I'm not gonna. I'll just put it right here.
Yes.
Right there.
There you go.
That's
buddy.
good. Okay.
So today we watched a classic.
Yes, we did. A classic, which I didn't really like the first time around when I saw it when I was, 12.
How did you feel about it the second time?
I still think it's trash. I don't like it.
So this is the 1996 movie Scream.
Yes, Scream. I remember that when I thought I was like, what's the big deal with this movie? It kind of sucks. It's kind of trash.
Well, it's interesting.
And at the time I was, 12. And, horror movies were a thing. And like, yeah, horror movies, this is what is it. Where is that?
Yes,
and
well...
this one, not so much.
Yeah, not so much in this one. It's really a slasher, more so than, I would say, classic.
Right.
Slasher horror, like...
Yeah, but see, to me, it's not even a good slasher. Because it's just kids. Spoiler warning.
Right.
Yes, if you haven't seen it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Everyone has seen Scream.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the 1996 Scream...
Right. In my opinion, you can skip it and just watch this podcast. It's not really the best.
Well, I think that you should definitely watch this podcast for survival, but I think that you should definitely watch this podcast if you haven't seen Scream and you're going to watch it.
Right? Yeah.
Because the thing that spoiler warning issued, you've seen it.
Right.
Right? And you're back.
Yes. So I don't like it slashers because it's just kids with just
knives,
mommy issues and knives.
Yeah.
It's not like a supernatural being that you can stab him a gajillion times and he still comes right at you. It's not an undead, It's just stupid teenagers.
But I feel like so many slasher movies is just about a kid who has mommy issues with knives.
Right? And then another one that doesn't even have any issues. He was just, I think
peer pressure.
Cool, right? The only good thing of this movie is that 2 years later we get SLC Punk.
It's so true. Who was the actor?
Matthew Lillard. I'm pretty sure, although I'm not, I really don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass. So this movie was filmed in 1996.
Yes.
And then after 1996, in 1998, 2 years later, I think he did something in between. But in 1998, the best movie, in my opinion, that he's ever been in, it's called SLC Punk.
You have to watch that.
You have to, not the second one. The second one is trash, but watch the first one, SLC Punk. That is one of the best movies to come out of 1998, in my opinion. And to me, is the best movie Lillard has ever done. Although after this, he did a Scooby movie once, and
yes.
I think his career after that Scooby movie has banked on just being Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But he's much better in drama, in my opinion. He's a great drama actor.
He's a wonderful actor, period.
Yes, he is a wonderful actor.
He's actually wonderful in this movie, too.
Yes.
With the little amount that they give him.
I think he's the best actor in this movie.
Yes.
He does the best performance with the little amount that they gave him.
He does. But his character, so spoiler alert, there are two killers.
Yeah, there are two killers and he's one of them.
But the reason why this movie was so classic was because of that twist. And because they referenced horror movies so much in this movie.
But even the twist, I was like, that's not that much of a twist. It's just two stupid guys.
Well,
with a horrible plan, might I add.
Oh, I know. Their plan was horrible. But remember, up to this point, all horror movies, even from like 1978 Halloween, which was the original, all horror movies were basically there for the audience to try and figure out who done it. So the fact that they ended it with...
This was a whodunit type of film, but in horror?
It was a whodunit where teenagers get together and watch a movie and talk about... They talk about what we talk about.
I guess that's why at one point you see the principal, right? With the scissors, scissors don't make that sound.
Right?
If anybody has ever handled
By the way,
scissors.
they were fabric shears. They
Right?
were big, giant.
Why would he
plastic-
have? Maybe it was from a fabric class that he
Right?
had him in his
Yeah, a
office.
fabric class in high school.
Yeah.
That's high school's really funded.
Right? And then they went like, "Tick, tick," and he was kind of like,
Right?
and tell him I will gut you. So okay, so they're trying to
So
make
they're
it
trying
off
to make
like
you think that
he's
he's the killer.
But then in the next scene, immediately he gets stabbed to death.
Right? So we are not the audience for this movie anymore. I remember watching this movie when I was a kid.
I mean, anymore. I wasn't the audience for this film when I was 12.
Yeah, but you were like, maybe the audience for this movie was like a 16 to 20-year-old who wanted to just figure out horror movies and they liked the twist of who done it. Like, oh, maybe it's the principal, maybe
So maybe if you saw Clue and also were into but Clue is a much better film.
Clue is a much.
Right?
I love that you
that is
brought
the
up
ultimate.
Clue.
Yeah, that is the ultimate whodunit.
Whodunit.
Right?
I mean, that's the
even in the end, it's like okay, maybe if they did it this way.
They could have done it this way. Yeah.
Let's not spoil Clue. Listen,
wait,
if
we
you
might
haven't
do Clue.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Clue, stop that podcast and immediately
watch Clue.
Yeah.
That is a wonderful movie.
Yes,
Clue.
it is.
Yes.
Hopefully you watched it now, and we're not spoiling that movie, but let's go back to Scream.
Yes. Okay. So Scream is a classic slasher movie in many ways.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, so the first scene starts out with this famous actress, the one
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
So you think she's gonna live?
Yeah. So wasn't Drew Barrymore really hot at this time? Yeah. And they banged. She's in the poster. She's the lady in the poster. Oh yeah, Drew Barrymore, and they just killed her off in the first scene.
That's why the movie took off. Actually,
really,
was because
they just cast Drew Barrymore as a little role,
so that she would. Oh my God, they killed Drew Barrymore. They've heightened the action.
I was like, okay. I mean, I think that was just to get butts in seats in the theater.
And you know what? It's the thing that I love about this movie is how many mistakes everybody makes.
Right.
Where I'm like, Drew Barrymore, listen, all you have to do is stop freaking out. Just stop freaking out.
Okay, but
he's just a guy with a knife.
Right. But first of all, we gotta back up a little
roll
bit.
out.
If there's younglings in the audience, right?
Listen.
There was a thing in the 90s, right? That was called landlines. You didn't have a phone.
Right, you didn't have a cell phone.
Every time somebody called you, it was a game.
Right.
Right? It was a mystery. It was kind of like, guess who's calling?
Yes.
Because you don't know who's calling. There wasn't any caller ID. There wasn't phones. There wasn't, screening calls like with Google. None of that. It's ringing. Huh. Who could it be?
Oh, and it was this whole fun thing. Oh,
right?
Gotta answer it.
Gotta answer it. And then somebody came up with a caller ID, which, you
God.
were in a fancy house if you had caller ID.
Yeah.
And it didn't
them
even...
were rich people.
Right? And it didn't tell you who it was. It just told you the number.
Right?
So if you didn't have the caller ID and wrote the number down with a name...
You wouldn't know who it was.
You didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
So it was, okay, someone's calling. I like it that in this movie, they call phones cellular phones.
Cellular
right?
telephones.
They got their cellular phones.
What kind of fancy kid has a cellular telephone?
Phone, right? A cellular telephone.
Yeah.
Everybody has this these times. Listen, in the 90s, I remember the hot thing was beepers.
Yes.
And a lot of people, if you're young in the audience, you won't know. I mean, if you're studying to be in the medical profession, like a doctor, you don't know what a beeper is. But other than that, nobody's going to know what beeper was.
Yeah.
So beepers basically were these little square things that people would send. You would call an operator, right? If you had internet and you were like, ooh, I'm fancy, I can do it myself on the internet. But if not, you would call a person and then you would tell this person, listen, I want to send a message and I want the message to say this. And these people would write them on their little computer,
Yep.
click a button, and then in this little rectangular box that they had, the message would come up.
Would appear.
And they would read it. It was like old school tweets, right?
Yeah. It was
from
Twitter,
one step because I'm not going to call it X. It's Twitter.
One step above Morse code.
Right? One step above Morse code. And that was a thing.
Your personal Morse code
in
device.
In the 90s, that was a thing when I was in high school. And it was like, oh, he has a beeper. That guy has money.
That guy's important.
Yeah, he's important. He has a beeper, right? And then I remember that you couldn't send like naughty messages. In order to do that, you had to go to the internet, to Windows
The
95
interwebs.
interwebs,
Yes.
right? And go to a specific site so you could write the message yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it was back then. I remember.
And it was interesting. What I did love about this movie is that they depicted technology that I remember watching it originally and going, oh, that's totally how it is. And now watching it, and they used all of the classic tech. She tried to send an emergency message from her computer.
Right? Was that a thing in the 90s? I don't remember. Oh, I'm going to go to the 911 website. Could you imagine if swatting is a thing now?
Yeah.
Could you imagine in the 90s where anybody could go into a computer, onto a website that is 911 and press a button and a chat appears, 911.
Right?
What's your emergency? That wasn't a thing. That's just that was make believe even in the 90s.
Yeah.
Right?
That definitely wasn't a thing. So let's talk about the survival of Drew Barrymore.
Right.
Okay.
First of all, one of my things where I think this movie is trash, right? Imagine that. Just imagine that happening now, right?
Right.
First of all, somebody would call you on the phone. If you have a Pixel, I would go screen call.
Right.
Just hit button, screen call.
I would just say Google, screen the call.
You don't have to answer. And first of all, if your number is not on my phone, even if it is on my phone, I'm not going to answer. I'm just going to screen the call to see what you want. In fact, if you're somebody that I know, you probably send me a text.
Yeah, send a text.
Send a text or WhatsApp or Telegram or Discord or Facebook Messenger, any of the forms that you can communicate, you would just send a text if you even cared.
If you would like to communicate with us, creepily or otherwise,
right,
you can contact us at our email address, at the comments below,
yeah,
at our Twitter,
whatever, at Discord, any of that. You know what you shouldn't do?
Call us. Don't call us.
Because we're not going to pick up the phone.
We will never answer the phone,
right?
ever.
Never, ever.
Do you answer the phone?
No, nobody answers the phone.
Who answers the phone?
In this movie, somebody, I know, oh, who is it? Hello? Yeah, oh, wrong number. Click. They call you, wrong number again. Click. In fact, you would just, so this was the magic thing. You could just have a cable disconnected and
no one can call you.
No one can call you. Absolutely no one can call you.
So the big thing was like terrorizing somebody over the phone, which obviously no longer exists.
Right?
No one could terrorize us over the phone.
No one can terrorize you. You can figure out who's calling you like that.
I guess you could be a really super curious, naive person.
Even though you could still hide your phone. I mean, this comes back from landlines. If nobody out there knows it, if before you write the phone number, I think you write *69.
Yeah.
It will block the code. The phone.
So you can't tell. But
it goes like unregistered.
And of course, most of us wouldn't answer that call.
Right. I'm not answering this.
I'm not answering
in
that
fact,
call.
The phone in itself would go like, this is spam. It's not even gonna ring. Right? It's not even gonna ring. Yeah. What, you're gonna terrorize me through text messages? Good luck with that. I'm just gonna block it. Don't answer nothing from this number. Okay. I'm done.
So let's pretend.
Okay,
because it's so easy to feel like it wouldn't work.
See, the thing is that it is hard to imagine it now, having lived through it.
Right.
So imagine I don't know, a Zoomer or somebody.
A 20-year-old.
Yeah, a 20-year-old, somebody that was born, I don't know, 12 years ago, because I thought I saw it when I was 12.
Right.
Imagine somebody 12 today watching this movie.
Being like, what?
What is happening? What is
How
that?
did they even get a hold of her?
What, a cellular phone? What is that?
Right?
Right?
So let's pretend like they've communicated with you verbally, like somehow.
Right. Okay. So this killer person calls her up.
Calls you up, and for some reason you're compelled to take the call.
Right.
Let's say that they're shadowing their number as your mom's.
Right.
Okay. That kind of makes sense a little bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I would still hang up. You're being weird.
Right. Yeah. But okay. That you're talking about if that were to happen today.
Yeah, I guess if it were, I don't know. Do we do it as though it was back then, or
No, back then, because right now it just wouldn't work.
Right, it
I
would
don't
work.
think it would.
No one would be
If
able
you
to
think
terrorize
this
us.
movie would work. In fact, that's what makes me want to watch the reboots. I know that
Right?
they did one in 2022.
2022, which I
and-
haven't seen,
right.
which I'm so excited
And
to
they
see.
did another one, which is 6 in this year,
I'm so
which
excited.
I also haven't seen. So I just want to know
How did they
would they pull
transfer
that
that?
off today?
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It makes no
right?
sense.
Like in cyberbullying.
So we're gonna watch all these movies.
Oh, great. I am excited. Yes, look at the happiness in my face. We are going to watch Scream, all of them, which I think are trash.
Okay. Well, what we could do, if you really think it's trash, is we could watch, the 5 and 6, and we could just read about what happened.
Right. We'll go to a YouTube channel
Right.
that does a compendium.
Yes.
I mean, we could do that.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, we could do that.
That way we don't waste so much time.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll watch 5 and 6.
Although, come to think about it, I think I skipped all of them. I just saw the first one. I haven't really seen any of them.
I did too. I think I might have seen the second or third one, but I can't remember which one. Oh, did it? The toy made noise.
The toy made noise. Well, it's okay.
It's okay, buddy.
Anyway, okay, continuing on. What with this lady?
Okay, so let's pretend we're in 1996. We're answering the phone. We're 17 years old. We're making popcorn.
Right.
Okay, so number one, let's hang up that phone.
Right.
Creepy person.
Creepy person. Hang up the phone.
Immediately lock everything if you haven't already locked it.
She started to lock things, but not everything.
Slowly
and not
as though it was urgent.
Right? Yeah.
Because, and now, the point of that, the thing that I loved about that is even if all the windows and doors were locked, it wouldn't have mattered because he jumped through the glass door.
He threw a chair.
Right, he threw the chair and then he jumped through.
Yeah.
So it obviously wouldn't have mattered, but still, that should be the first thing that is already done. Things should be locked.
Yeah, yes.
The second thing is, if you are being terrorized...
Just call the police. 911.
Like, the second call, I would have already called the police.
Yeah, someone terrorizing me.
Now, my rule, it wouldn't have worked. I would have gotten myself killed.
What is your rule?
7-minute rule.
Yeah, she would. I mean, at certain points, see, here's what bothered me about this lady. She's like, no, I'm going to talk to you. But then he starts asking questions. And then, I don't know. Like, she's talking to him like it's his friend.
Right.
Like his friend that she's known for ages.
And
like, what the hell?
And the thing is, like, this is, again, why the time... Like, back then, if you got a stranger on the phone that wants to talk to you, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was like, okay, let's happening.
Like, what the heck?
Why are you even calling me?
Right?
Even friends, why are you calling me?
Get away from me.
Send a text. I'm not going to answer your phone. I'm taking a dump. I prefer to text you while I'm taking a dump than to talk to you while I'm shitting.
I'm not going to, even if I'm making popcorn on the stove, I'm having me time, right?
Okay.
I don't want to talk to some stranger.
Instead of survival tips, you do the survival tips. In this show, I'm going to go reasons why I think Scream is trash. Right?
Okay.
Reason number one, she doesn't hang up the phone or call the police.
Right.
Yes.
Now, my rule wouldn't have worked because now I would have known that though immediately. Because when he says, I want to know who I'm looking at, I would assume either he's in the house or he's outside the house. Right. And that means I'm going to need to fight him.
Right.
Immediately.
Again, this goes to one of the golden rules.
Golden rule.
You get upset.
Right.
You don't freak out. You get upset because anger trumps fear 100% of the time. Every time.
Every time.
Yes.
So, she should have immediately gotten the weapons around her. And honestly, that kitchen was not a bad place to defend against.
Yeah. I mean, she had the right idea. She went and got the biggest kitchen knife she could find. Yeah. But then she started screaming like a crazy person. And he just wiggled it out of her hand.
Yeah.
Listen, if that happened, you got stabbed in the throat, done.
Yeah, she turned into kind of just a blubbering mess.
Because again, if you're fighting someone with a knife.
We've said this before.
Doesn't matter if you or them have a knife. Whoever has the knife is going to stab the other person. So you're in better odds also having a knife because your odds are you're going to stab him.
Also, here's the thing. Stabbing, not the best way.
No, you don't think so? That was a fancy...
It is a fancy, nice knife. I actually don't think that a big knife is
No.
better.
At that point, you probably need, I don't know, like a Gerber pocket knife, like
You
the
actually,
military ones.
If you don't have
Have
one
the
of those,
pointy end. Those will go in like butter.
but yes, they will. But what you want is the sharpest paring knife that you have. You have
Okay.
it's a small paring knife. You have it here, and you just go to town.
Ah!
You go to every soft spot that you possibly
Right?
can,
Because
and you keep
he's
the
not
tension
wearing
on.
chainmail.
Right, he's not wearing so like elbows, ears, necks,
Right.
chest, and you don't want to stab.
Okay.
Because stabbing is one thing that goes in, and they're meanwhile pummeling you or stabbing you or whatever, and then this motion takes a long time.
This one is faster.
This goes faster, and
you go like El Zorro.
Well, you just keep going, and they are going to bleed out, and they're going to start to lose function.
Okay. I mean, that's a whole bunch of movement you have to do really deep. And
No,
you have
you don't necessarily.
and also, here's a tip.
Yeah.
If kitchen knives, keep them sharp.
Yes.
Keep them sharp.
Sharpen your knife.
Right? None of those kitchen knives that it takes you like 10 years to cut a steak.
And remember, the great thing is when you get cut and you've got a lot of adrenaline going through you.
Oh yeah, your heart is pumping.
You don't know you've been cut.
Right.
And your heart is keep going.
And your heart is pumping.
Your heart
all
is
that
pumping.
blood is coming out.
And remember, the place that bleeds a lot is the head and the face.
Yeah.
You know?
They're not going to be able to see if you get them in the
It's true. If they get cut in the
forehead, all the blood is just going to rush. Yeah. Or you could go like in the famous words of Bas Rutten. If they cut you right here, you can spray them in the eye with your blood. Right?
I mean,
if you know about Bas Rutten, you will know that technique.
If you know about Bas Rutten, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. If not, search for it on YouTube.
But the main thing that she didn't do was just get her head in the game.
Right? She started to freak out. She got a knife, and then I don't know. She immediately when he says, "Oh, your friend is outside tied to a chair."
Your friend is dead.
Yeah, he's dead, and she just should have hung up, and call 911. Listen, this is happening.
What we mean by he's dead is if anyone is tied up outside and someone's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna kill you if blah blah blah." I mean, we know what the philosophy is.
Yeah, they're dead.
It doesn't matter if they're still alive. If you can see them, I'm sorry, but
they're dead.
That person is.
You gotta survive yourself.
Dead.
Yeah.
It may be heartless.
Yeah. But it's the truth.
We've had this conversation so many times.
Yeah, we're like, listen, if this happens, I'm sorry, you're dead.
And I don't know if I necessarily am. I understand it logically in my head, but like if somebody had you tied to a chair outside of the window,
yeah, I'd be like, I'm dead. You do whatever you can.
Well, I know, but like, I might have.
Then we would both be dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, another reason why this movie is trash. Immediately after that, she didn't go, click, let me call 911. It's easier to dial 911 than to turn on your computer, wait until Windows 95 boots up, right? Wait until, dial-up modem. Go on YouTube and search for the dial-up modem sound. Hear that abhorrent thing, and then, okay, let's go to the website. What was it? Okay, I want to go to the World Wide Web, right? With Metacrawler, the search engine of choice back then, right? There wasn't no Google in 1990s.
Meanwhile, the killer is trying to get you with
right, and to get on the chat, right? On the chat with 911, so that an operator can write what is your emergency?
Now,
so you can then proceed to type it.
That was a while after this.
Yeah, but still.
Yes, you're
right. This lady wasn't going to do that.
No, she wasn't.
It's easier to just dial 911.
You know how they also say, I mean, this movie, they even say it, you shouldn't go up the stairs when you should go out the door. I actually disagree with that in this one. If she had gone up the stairs and fortified herself in a bathroom, she would have lived.
Bathroom.
It's a person.
Right? It's not a...
It's a human being.
That's the thing. It's not a supernatural... If it was, I don't know, Freddy Krueger. Okay, don't fall asleep because he's going to get you. If it's Jason or Jason's mom. Oh, Jason's mom was a human. But, Jason after that, he's going to get you.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you are going up against a person... I personally, and you're not able to fight, or you're not willing to fight, or you don't have the headspace to fight, you have to hide well. And I think the bathroom is always your best bet.
Yeah.
It usually doesn't have any windows, usually. Usually there's one entrance, one exit.
Yeah.
There's a ton of weapons in the bathroom.
Right, and she could have taken the knife that she got.
Everything is a weapon in a bathroom.
Right? And her parents were just getting home.
Right?
At worst, you know,
her parents would have died.
Stabbed.
Yeah.
Right. But she would have lived.
She would have lived. And how long would it have been before they were like trying to hack at the doorknob with their knife?
Yeah.
I guess they could have maybe found a sledgehammer in the garage or something.
Yeah, but by the time they went to the garage, they're probably in the basement, if they had a basement, and then go to the second floor. By that time, the parents would have already been there.
Yeah. So there were a lot of things that this lady didn't do. Poor Drew Barrymore, and then she died. Right. And how she died, it was so upsetting because she was like right there. Her parents were right there. Right. That was actually well done.
Just throw a pebble at them.
I love it.
Take off your shoe and throw it.
Has anybody ever been hit in the face with a phone? Probably. I love that those killers were hit in the face with phones all the time.
Right? And they
fell. Often.
And they sounded like just normal humans.
Right? It sounded like those phones were heavy. If you got hit in the face with that phone, that was something.
I prefer the ghost killer from Scary Movie. With Scary Movie, they made a whole gaff of this movie, if I remember correctly.
They did. Well, so then we get introduced to all the characters. There was a character named Sydney, who's the main girl. Mm-hmm. And then there's a couple of other characters that are great because we get to wonder who done it. Mm. But the boyfriend is clearly just awful.
Yeah, I find it funny. Watching the movie, you can see the context of society back then, where it was like, oh, you know, you have to be the virgin. And she was like, yeah, it's a PG-13 relationship.
Right?
Like, what?
I'm like, what
are you guys talking about? What is this?
What is going on? Yeah, that was very confusing. Right. And then there was this whole dialogue in the movie about sex. Right. If she should have sex, him pressuring her to have sex, right. Her then saying, no, I want to have sex, no, I don't. Like, it was a whole thing.
Maybe we're living in, you know, don't understand how it is right now when you're 18 or in high school, you know, because we're past that age.
That's
a while now.
But like,
maybe it's still the same way.
Maybe it is. I mean, I remember when I was 18, I was that same way.
Okay, maybe it is still today.
Maybe it is.
I mean, when you were 18, it was around this time.
That's true. So I think that, I mean, maybe that was a realistic depiction. But it was such an interesting feature in the film that I don't think they addressed enough. Like, why the killer was the boyfriend and this other guy. Mm-hmm. So why was the boyfriend so wanting to have sex with her and wanting so much to be focused on their relationship when he just wanted to kill her?
Right.
Like, it didn't make any sense.
And why kill the other one?
Right. It just, I was like, what?
And the other one's friend.
And they even said, motivations are so passé. Like, no one cares about motivations. I'm like, well, I do.
Yeah. I want to know. Maybe that's why he became the punk, an SLC punk. That's not it, but watch that movie.
So, the reporter, played by Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
She was a pretty
cool... famous at the time, right?
Yeah, she was. She was in Friends.
Oh, yeah. I never saw that one either.
This is where she met her husband, David Arquette, who played Dewey.
I see.
And
it was strange that in the movie, I was like, they're married. She looks like she's 47, and he looks like he's 19.
I know. Yeah.
I think it was all due to makeup and stuff.
Yeah. And I actually really liked both of their characters. The thing I did like is they were such real full characters. Like,
I didn't really like her character.
She was awful.
She was kind of like a bitch.
Yeah, she was.
And to the camera guy. Even when the camera guy's dead, she treated him like trash.
Kenny.
Right? He was trash all up until the end.
Yeah, for sure. But it was interesting that I did like that. I felt like her character, like I understood her character, even though I didn't like her at all.
Yeah?
Yeah, because she's a reporter. She wants to know the truth, but because she's just focused on her own fame.
Right. And they never closed it out with the guy she framed.
Who was played by Liv Schreiber.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't come out in the movie. He wasn't shown in the movie.
He was shown in one scene. Liv Schreiber. I got it right. So
he was the one that was on death row because she...
Yes.
Did he appear in the film?
He played in one scene when
maybe I looked away.
Yeah, he was sitting in the police car in an orange jumpsuit. This critically acclaimed, artistic,
Really?
like classically trained theater actor. Yes.
And he had no speaking role?
No speaking role.
Just the camera just records him for a bit. Another reason, the Scary Movie. I mean, look at the Scary Movie. Another reason Scream is trash.
Right? They didn't allow Liv Schreiber to do his thing.
Yeah, he did nothing. He was just sit in the car.
Right?
Yeah, we're gonna cast Drew Barrymore, who's really hot at the time. We're gonna cast this guy, and she's just gonna die, and he's gonna do nothing.
But it's interesting that, like, you know what? I think that's a really smart play on the casting directors because it makes you as an audience think, well, it's got to be Cotton. Somehow he escaped from prison. Oh, it's got to be Drew Barrymore. She's never going to die.
I still think that's just Suits wanting to get people's butts in seats.
Maybe, but it definitely it made it a classic. Okay. You know, all of these strategies. So
it's classically trash.
Classically trash.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So I did love the scene at the end where all of these high schoolers are revealed to be absolutely horrible human beings when the principal is murdered and strung up, and they're like, let's run to the school before their body is torn down. And I'm like, Jesus.
And they almost killed the cop and the
Dewey, yeah,
and the reporter. They would have run them over.
They would have just run him over. Yeah, they if they hadn't.
That would have been a completely different movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Accidental murder by just getting them with a car.
Right.
But I did love that they featured Halloween because we're gonna watch that movie.
Yeah, they did feature Halloween.
That was really cool.
But anyway, another scene. Okay, so she dies.
She dies. Then
they find her corpse.
Yes. We cut to high school. High school commences in the 90s. And everybody is like super sexified in this high school.
Well, how I see it was, ladies' trends in the 90s, which was be as thin as you possibly can. I mean, you needed you did not eat anything. It was between anorexia
and cocaine.
And
yes,
that's
the devil's dandruff.
The devil's dandruff and anorexia. That's the look you want.
That's the look.
And then look in your face like you haven't slept in a week.
Right.
That was the look.
That was the thing that you needed.
Everybody, even the guy, the killer, he looked like he needed to eat a burger.
Yeah.
He needed some carbs. He needed some fat.
Thin.
He needed some carbs. He needed some nutrition. At least a little bit of multivitamins.
Yes.
They all looked like they needed to sleep.
They all were just super tiny people.
Yeah.
And maybe, were you that thin in high school?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, like that was not okay. But 90s were the 90s. Everybody was super thin.
Yeah.
And they just wore nothing.
Right. It was weird.
I forget her name. I know her name. The actress's name is Rose McGowan, but I got to check the character's name. The one who, how she died was so awful. Tatum. Why would I remember her name? What a weird name for a character.
That one, that was the one who died through the doggy door or the cat door?
Yes, so that was the friend of Sydney. Right.
They made her look like her boobs were so big that she got stuck, which made no sense. All you can do is just go back. Go back. Oh, the door is open. Thank you. Run away.
Yeah, so we need to dissect that scene a little bit. Mm-hmm. So Tatum has gone to get her trash boyfriend a beer.
Right. Multiple beers.
To bring multiple beers back.
Yes.
You have to remember, folks, beers are weapons.
Right? Yeah. And it's not like in movies. You hit someone with a beer bottle.
Done.
The beer bottle is probably not going to break.
No.
They're going to have a concussion. They're going to be concussed.
They will be bleeding from the skull.
Yes. And if it happens to break, then good on you. You can do the slash it.
Yeah, then you have like a really good.
But the thing in movies, no, that's not a thing. Beer bottles are pretty tough.
Yeah, they're pretty tough. And it was interesting that she threw it at him, and he experienced the pain, and then he just kept moving on. She actually did, in my opinion, the best job of anyone in the movie of defending herself.
Right.
because she
And a
had
lot of
that beer
times
bottle.
he threw it at him, he got him, he fell, then he was running at her and she kind of like went down and he fell over all
Yeah.
cartoony. It looked like a little slapstick comedy at sometimes.
And whenever he was down, I don't know why literally no one got on top of him and started to like try and
punt
him or grab a beer bottle and just shove it right in his face. Like,
yeah,
you know,
take the little mask off and just punch him.
yeah. I mean,
Do
well, that
something.
mask is dangerous if pushed into your face
Right?
over and over and over again.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
You can't see anything.
Right?
So, like, take that beer bottle, just bash the crap out of his face over and over again. You may get cut a little bit, but he's going to die.
Just a lousy trash movie. I don't like it.
It was just, everybody in the movie responded so much with such panic and fear that, but maybe that was I wonder if there was some weird.
Well, the main character didn't at one point. Well, the first time she was attacked, she did, where. This is, I don't even know at what point of the timeline.
When she went home before and Tatum was supposed to pick her up. And
yes.
Yeah.
So she freaks out because we're jumping scenes.
We're jumping.
Here. Yeah.
You've seen the movie. You know what's happening.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So the so the killer calls her and she's like, oh my gosh, she gets freaked out. And then immediately she's like, no, you're not in my front porch. What am I doing now, you loser?
Right.
You know? And then he jumps out of a closet, so he was in her house for some reason.
I gotta stop you for a second, because this is the one time that my rule in this movie would have totally worked. So.
7-minute rule.
Yes, somebody has been murdered in your town. You're waiting for your friend to come and pick you up because you're scared. And because
But she didn't have a car.
No, but here's the thing. She heard something in the closet for a second.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And she ignored it. All right? That was your opportunity to, that old trick of putting a chair under a door that you can't open. You do that on the closet door because that's not your business, but you just do that just in case, and you leave immediately.
All right.
Even if you don't have a car, I would say it's better to grab at least one weapon, have your stuff. She's already got her stuff ready, and you just book it down the road. If you think something's in the closet, and that would have been, I would 7-minute rule. It's not even a 7-minute rule. It's just leave.
Yeah.
And you just
get out of there.
And even if you leave and hide somewhere, like outside, the killer's not going to be able to find you. They don't know where you are.
Yeah.
So that would have been my suggestion. It actually goes to the hide rule that was given to us by a candle maker at the antique fair.
Yeah. You just hide and you keep quiet. You don't scream. You don't say who's there.
Yeah.
You just hide and wait until the sunlight comes out.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that is the one place in this movie where that would have worked. But literally every other spot, the golden rule, get angry, not... And anger trumps fear.
Anger trumps fear.
Because these were just some idiot guys with a knife.
Some idiot guys with a knife.
You're gonna get cut.
Not even a sharp knife.
Yeah.
You could look at this knife in the movie and say, if you've ever handled a sharp knife, you know this was that knife is not even sharp.
Yeah.
That knife they can maybe stab me, but other than that, they're not gonna cut me.
At one point, he puts it in his mouth. Remember when he puts the knife in his mouth?
Yeah, and at one point he caresses her neck and goes down like with a really sharp knife. That would have cut.
It would have cut.
It wouldn't killed her, but it would have cut.
But so when he put the knife in his mouth, like all this, I don't know why she didn't just real quick jerk, because she's not tied up or anything.
Right.
Just jerk the knife into his mouth, like.
Right. It's like you stabbed yourself.
Even if the other guy has a gun. All you have to be is like in between the gun and the guy.
Right?
There was a lot of opportunity there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
And so the one guy, his motivation was that Sydney's mom had an affair with his dad, which caused his mom to leave his dad. And that's why he killed Sydney's mom.
Right.
And he wanted to kill Sydney and kill everybody in order to frame Sydney's dad.
Which wasn't going to work.
It wasn't going to work. It didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't. That wasn't going to work.
And then his friend was like, well, I just did it for peer pressure.
Right? I mean, that was funny. He was a funny character.
He was a little bit unstable. Throughout the whole movie, he was a little bit off.
Yeah.
And he also, it was so funny when he goes, my mom and my dad are going to be so mad at me.
Right? Yeah, that was the best line in the movie. And he delivered it
He delivered it.
perfectly.
Oh, man, that
Yeah,
guy.
just freaking out. But they never closed out a lot of loopholes in this movie. They never closed out the guy that because of her he was on death row, right? They they just okay, so that guy's
I
gonna
guess,
die.
is he free now,
Right.
Cotton?
Right. Is he? I don't know. Can he actually act? Does he appear in the second one? I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
will never know. I'm not gonna watch it. You let us know in the comments down below.
Well, I might watch it and
Okay.
then
Well, if you
find
watch
out.
it, I have to watch it.
Oh.
You know, we're gonna do it for you, right? We're gonna you know be the sacrifices of watching
Scream.
Scream all the movies of Scream.
We really only we only need to watch 5 and 6, which was 2022 and the new 2023.
Yes.
And then what we'll do is we will watch some YouTube about 2,
Okay.
3, and 4.
Okay.
Okay. That way we won't. So I gotta be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I love a good love story.
Okay.
All right,
There
we
is
all
no
know.
good love story in this movie.
There's the start of one,
Okay.
which is the reporter and Dewey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a little something something.
Yeah. Like at the point where they're gonna be run over
Right?
and they
By
fall.
these idiot high schoolers.
And then she's like, "Isn't that what you were looking for?" He's like, "All my life" or something like that.
Because
And
he falls on top
she
of him.
doesn't say no. She just laughs and just puts it, shoves his face so he can see. So she's like, "I know what you're talking about."
Right?
Yeah.
So I think she likes him too.
Yeah.
She likes him too.
I would watch a movie of those two.
Right?
God, and I don't get
The
it.
Adventures of Dewey
Right?
and Reporter.
I guess I'm not sure if in this time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were a thing, but the first time she shows on camera, she has the April O'Neil getup.
Yes.
All yellow like
dress
bright banana yellow suit. It's like, who do we got here? April O'Neil?
April O'Neil
Are the
is here.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles gonna pop out? With some pizza? Is that what's gonna happen? I don't know. That would have been a much better movie if the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles would come and save the day.
It's so true, and it was the 90s all the way.
Yeah.
Come on, Milo. It was fantastic. I love that. So I think the reason why I liked her is because she reminded me of April O'Neil.
Yeah, I think they did it on purpose.
They did it on purpose.
Yeah. I don't remember what time Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or cartoons were up, but she had the whole April O'Neil getup.
She did. So I thought the movie was fun.
This is another reason why this movie is trash. It didn't feature the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Right?
Yeah.
They missed an opportunity there.
Oh yeah, they did.
I really wish that there was more of a follow-up.
To what?
To like what happens after. It was just like,
I guess that's why we have to watch the second one?
No. We don't need to watch the second one. You know how I'm capable of watching a movie and like just skimming through it?
Just watch it at 2x.
Right. Just watch
2x on mute.
I do not recommend that you do that for a movie. Respect the director and stuff.
I just watch it in 2x. Fuck the director. You do what you want.
You do what you want.
Right? This close to what, 20-year-old movie now?
Yeah.
No, even more than that. So you do what you want.
Yeah. So I actually thought the movie was quite fun, but I'm really happy that I never have to watch it again.
Yes.
I feel like I have been re-educated.
Knock on wood. We don't have to watch it again. Right? Not a good movie.
Yeah, but it is a classic, and I'm glad that we at least got it covered. I have a feeling, what if the classic horror movies are really easy to survive and they're just not that scary?
Yeah, I don't know.
What's going to happen when we watch Halloween?
I mean, I've seen Halloween a couple of times, and I don't remember it. I don't remember being with that feeling like when I watched Scream for the first time, thinking, this movie's kind of trash.
You don't remember having that feeling?
No, yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no.
I just feel
not even with Nightmare on Elm Street or with Friday the 13th.
Nightmare on Elm Street. I feel I'm really excited to watch that because I don't necessarily have a theory on how to survive a dream killer. But I already
copious amounts of the devil's dandruff, cocaine and coffee.
Yeah,
but eventually your heart would give out.
The solution can't just be to not fall asleep.
Yeah, your heart would give out.
So I have a theory on how to defeat Michael Myers. So when we get to that...
Michael Myers is Halloween.
Yeah, Michael Myers is Halloween. So, because I already have that theory, I feel like ready to watch it and really prepared.
Mm.
And I don't have that with Nightmare on Elm Street. With this one, I sort of vaguely remembered it. And overall, I think that you just have to be prepared to go with the golden rule. Like, you have to be prepared for that just as a human being, and you have to fight for your life.
Yeah, because isn't Freddy fond of fear?
Yes.
That's what he likes. So if you're not afraid, does he have any power?
I don't know. I don't remember. Like,
if you know, let us know.
Yeah, well, don't let us know yet.
Why not?
Because we're gonna watch it.
Okay, then when we watch it, don't write anything here. Write it in the next one.
Yeah. Or, you know what would be great? If you're going to write something to us about Friday the 13th or about Nightmare on Elm Street, tell me what your theory is on how to survive it so that we can go into the movie having thought about it, and then we can comment on it.
Yeah.
Because I would love to hear your survival tips.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, coming back to Scream.
Right, coming back to Scream, this one was it's not easy to survive, but it's definitely easier than any supernatural survival that we've encountered.
Yeah. They're just like in The Invitation. They're just humans.
They're just human beings.
And not only smart humans, they're just dumb teenagers.
They also don't have guns. They have knives, which
not sharp knives.
Not sharp knives, which is not saying that, I mean, obviously knives are very dangerous.
Yes.
But, like...
This is a small town.
They're idiot teenagers.
Yeah, everybody's going to have a gun.
Yeah.
You know? So, yeah.
I mean, she ended up defeating him with an umbrella.
Right? That was point your umbrella than his knife.
I gotta say though, sometimes when you look at the end of an umbrella and you're like, "Dang, I hope it never gets stabbed with that."
You could stab someone with that.
I'm so glad that they did that because I feel like hundreds of people have thought about that over the years, and finally
somebody got stabbed.
Somebody did it
with an umbrella.
I mean, it clearly didn't kill him. Double tap. Remember double tap?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She didn't do the double tap and a couple of times.
Yeah.
Until the end, where the guy goes like, "Careful, this is the time when they're gonna just jump and scream," and then double tap.
Also, remember, tossing a TV from a short balcony or from a short table onto someone's head would be extremely painful, but it's not going to electrocute and kill them.
Right? In a very Wile E. Coyote type of way.
That's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to do nothing.
Right? I think that scene would have been even better if they would have put the Wilhelm scream in it. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Search for the Wilhelm scream.
The Wilhelm scream is in every movie.
In every movie. Yes. So I don't know. What else can we say about this movie?
It's done.
It's done. If you liked it, like below. If you think it wasn't trash, comment down below.
Let us know.
But I think you're wrong. Whatever you write thinking that this movie is not trash. Okay, look. Scream, the first one, is trash. If you think otherwise, you're wrong. If not, leave a comment down below.
Yes, you heard it here first.
Yes.
All right. So, thank you so much for watching. Please send us your tips and tricks for survival. We would love suggestions for future movies that you think we should cover. And remember to subscribe and like this video.
Yes.
Okay? The main thing I would like, though, is comments. I really like when people talk to me.
Yeah. Even if they're nasty comments, hey, you're still engaged.
You're still engaged.
Yeah. I see you nasty comments. They're good. I rebel them.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Please remember to be vigilant, be brave, and be the last one standing.
Always.